Today is February 23, 2026. This is a day that many people, both in the Philippines and around the world, thought would never actually arrive. For the very first time in history, a former head of state from Asia is standing before the International Criminal Court. We're talking about Rodrigo Duterte, once known as the strongman of the Philippines. Right now, he is at the very center of a high-stakes pre-trial hearing happening in The Hague. So, why exactly is he being charged, and what is going to happen inside that courtroom today? Let's break it all down. The official prosecution team at the ICC has leveled 3 distinct counts of crimes against humanity against Duterte. Now, these aren't just vague accusations. They are tied to very specific time periods and events that defined his political career. Let's look at count 1. This is what we call the Davao years. Spanning from 2013 to 2016, this count zeroes in on his tenure as the mayor of Davao City. Prosecutors allege that he was at the apex of the infamous Davao Death Squad, or DD. They're not just making claims. They're citing his direct involvement in at least 19 specific murders during that time. This is the foundation of the case, suggesting a pattern of behavior that started long before he reached the presidency. Then we move to count 2. This covers the period of high-value targets from 2016 to 2017. This period marks his first 2 years as president of the Philippines. The charge here specifically targets the assassination of 14 individuals identified as high-value drug suspects. The prosecution's argument is that these were not isolated incidents but were carried out under a state-sanctioned policy, an orchestrated campaign from the highest levels of government. And finally, count 3. This is the largest and most sweeping charge, known as the clearance operations, which took place between 2016 and 2018. This count involves an astounding 43 murders that occurred during nationwide barangay-level police operations. The prosecution is arguing that these weren't just random, unfortunate outcomes of police work. Instead, they claim it was a systematic attack on the civilian population, disguised as a war on drugs. So, with all that context, what is actually happening today in The Hague? It is incredibly important to understand this one key point. This is not the trial itself. What's happening is what's called a confirmation of charges hearing. You can think of it as the ultimate legal filter. It's the step before a full trial is even considered. Over the next 4 days, a 3-judge panel, led by Judge Ulia Motak, will listen to all the evidence presented. Their job is to decide if the prosecution has what they call substantial grounds to proceed. In simpler terms, is there enough solid, compelling evidence to justify moving forward to a full-blown trial? This is the critical moment where the case either gains momentum or potentially falls apart. Interestingly, the 80-year-old Duterte himself is not physically present in the courtroom. Despite being ruled medically fit to stand trial just last month, the court has granted his request to skip this hearing. The official reason cited is his frail health. So, while the legal battle rages on, he remains in custody at the high-security Scheveningen prison. In his place, his legal team, led by the prominent lawyer Nicholas Kaufman, is in the courtroom fighting these charges on his behalf. Meanwhile, the atmosphere right outside the court is electric, and it's deeply divided. We are seeing 2 very distinct groups gathered here. On one side, you have the families of the victims. They've traveled a long way, carrying photos of their loved ones, demanding justice and accountability. Their presence is a powerful and somber reminder of the human cost at the heart of this case. On the other side, you have loyalist supporters of Duterte. They are waving flags and chanting, arguing that these entire proceedings are a violation of Philippine sovereignty and an attack on their former leader. This clash of perspectives right on the courthouse steps paints a vivid picture of the deep divisions this case has created. So, what happens next? Once these 4 days of hearings wrap up on Friday, the 3 judges will have a 60-day window to make their decision. They have 3 possible paths they can take. First, they could confirm the charges. If they decide the evidence is strong enough, the case will officially proceed to a full trial. This would be a monumental step, and the trial itself could last for several years, becoming one of the most significant cases in the ICC's history. Second, they could reject the charges. If the judges find that the prosecution's evidence is not substantial enough, they could dismiss the case. In this scenario, Duterte could potentially be released from custody, which would be a massive victory for his legal team and his supporters. And third, there's a middle ground. The judges could ask for more evidence. They might feel that the prosecution is close, but hasn't quite met the threshold. This would send the prosecution back to the drawing board to gather more information, delaying the final decision. This week is a pivotal moment. Is this the beginning of the end for the Duterte legacy, a final chapter of accountability? Or is this just another legal hurdle that he, a man who has navigated political firestorms for decades, will manage to overcome? We will be monitoring all the developments from The Hague throughout the week to bring you the latest updates. This is a historic case with profound implications, not just for the Philippines, but for international justice as a whole. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for continuous coverage of this story. I'll see you in the next one.